Welcome to Tech Blueprint, a window that lets you know the latest technology news in the world. In recent years, the global semiconductor industry has been unpredictable, and the hegemonic behavior of the United States in this field is particularly eye-catching. Recently, the United States has once again increased chip restrictions and issued a third round of chip export control measures to China. This move has undoubtedly caused an uproar around the world. Although the United States has frequently taken similar measures in recent years, many people are still surprised that the Biden administration has taken such a heavy blow before stepping down. The severity of the U.S. sanctions this time is unprecedented. Not only has it included 140 Chinese semiconductor companies in the entity list, but it has also announced a ban on the export of HBM chips to China. HBM, high bandwidth memory, chips, as an important component in the field of high-performance computing, are crucial to improving chip computing power and efficiency. This U.S. ban will undoubtedly have a serious impact on China's development in high-performance computing, artificial intelligence, and other fields. However, what is even more surprising is that in the face of the third round of U.S. sanctions, Japan and the Netherlands, two important allies of the United States, did not respond as positively as expected. Japan and the Netherlands had previously reached a tripartite agreement with the United States to jointly introduce relevant policies to cooperate with U.S. export controls. However, when the United States demanded that the scope of restrictions be further expanded, the two countries showed obvious resistance. The reason behind this is not difficult to understand. Japan and the Netherlands are both important players in the semiconductor industry. They are well aware of the severity of U.S. export controls and the chain reactions that may be caused. In recent years, the United States has frequently used export controls to crack down on other countries' semiconductor industries, which has made these countries suffer. They are worried that if they continue to blindly follow the United States, they may eventually trigger China's strong counterattack, thereby damaging their own interests. In fact, China's counterattack has arrived as expected, and the speed and intensity are beyond imagination. Shortly after the United States issued the third round of sanctions, the Ministry of Commerce of China quickly introduced countermeasures, restricting the export of key basic materials to the United States, and directly launching export controls on the United States. This move not only demonstrates China's determination and strength in the semiconductor field, but also caught the United States off guard. Immediately afterwards, China's four major industry associations also spoke out, directly pointing out that American chips are no longer reliable and safe, and calling on relevant companies to purchase American chips with caution. This series of counterattacks not only made the United States feel unprecedented pressure, but also made the global semiconductor industry re-examine the competitive landscape between China and the United States. It is worth noting that TSMC and ASML, the two major semiconductor giants, also chose to remain silent in the face of U.S. sanctions. As global foundry giants and leading companies in the field of lithography, TSMC and ASML play an important role in the semiconductor industry. However, in the context of the third round of sanctions launched by the United States, they chose to remain silent. This is not because they are indifferent to the U.S. sanctions, but because they are well aware of the severity and complexity of this sanction. In recent years, the United States has continuously revised chip rules and issued chip bans, which have caused great harm to semiconductor companies such as TSMC. They have lost many mainland customers and become more and more dependent on US companies. ASML, as a leading company in the field of lithography, is also facing tremendous pressure from the United States. Therefore, in the face of the third round of US sanctions, TSMC and ASML chose to remain silent. They understand that this sanction will not only have no effect, but will also harm many companies, including themselves. What they know more clearly is that China has made its attitude clear, from passive decoupling to active decoupling. If the United States continues to abuse sanctions and try to isolate China, it will eventually only put itself in an isolated and helpless situation. In fact, China's counterattack has achieved remarkable results. As China's position in the global semiconductor market continues to rise, more and more countries are beginning to realize the importance of cooperating with China. They no longer blindly follow the United States, but begin to seek opportunities for cooperation with China in the semiconductor field. This trend is becoming more and more obvious around the world. Many countries and regions are actively strengthening cooperation with China in the semiconductor field to jointly promote the development of the semiconductor industry. This will not only help enhance the competitiveness of the global semiconductor industry, but also help promote the prosperity and development of the global economy. In summary, the third round of US chip sanctions has undoubtedly hit a wall. China's rapid counterattack not only caught the United States off guard, but also made the global semiconductor industry re-examine the competitive landscape between China and the United States. As China's position in the global semiconductor market continues to rise, more and more countries are beginning to realize the importance of cooperation with China. If the United States continues to abuse sanctions and try to isolate China, it will eventually put itself in an isolated and helpless situation. In the face of this situation, the United States should seriously reflect on its policy choices, abandon hegemonism and unilateralism, and participate in the development of the global semiconductor industry with a more open and inclusive attitude. Only in this way can we truly achieve the goal of mutual benefit, win-win and common development.